Will your taxes be higher in retirement? Well, a lot of it depends on where you've saved. And if, like a lot of people, you've saved into this bucket right here, the 401ks, 403bs, 457s, or IRAs, guess what? You might be in for a surprise. And not a good surprise. Unfortunately, a tax surprise. So, depending on where you've saved and how much you've saved for retirement, your taxes could potentially be higher because of that surprise. So, paying attention now could potentially help you save thousands of dollars. Meaning, if you're still working, maybe you're saving into the wrong bucket. Or if you're already retired, there's strategies that you can utilize to help reduce those long-term taxes. So today, we're going to talk about why your taxes could potentially be higher in retirement, and then strategies and actions to utilize to help lower them. For those just joining the channel, I'm Scott Sierens, and I run a retirement planning and investment management firm where we help families and individuals, people just like you, understand when they can retire, how to help maximize what they can spend in retirement, and how to help minimize the taxes that they pay to the IRS. If you need help on those topics, you can go to lifemoneyshow.com and click on the Work With Us tab. If you're like most, I'm guessing you've saved potentially into those IRAs and 401ks. If so, well, when you saved into that bucket, you got a tax deduction when you save that money. Now, when you take money out of the bucket, guess what? You're going to have to pay income tax on every dollar that's going to come out. But that's not the surprise. Where's the tax surprise in your retirement? Well, it's called required minimum distributions, or RMDs. You see, that's the forced income that the IRS is going to make you take out of that bucket in your 70s. Even if you don't want to take anything out, guess what? You need to, otherwise you're going to get penalized. And it's these required minimum distributions, this forced income, that can put people sometimes in a higher tax bracket in their retirement, or a higher taxable income. Let me show you some examples of why. Let's just say in retirement, you've got $1 million in your IRAs and 401ks. The required minimum distribution at age 85 on that $1 million, $62,500. Now, we're just adding in some hypothetical social security here, but then you've got $118,600 of taxable income. Again, all that needs to be taxed according to whatever tax brackets that you're in there. Let's say you've got $3 million sitting in your IRAs and 401ks. That's $187,500 forced income. Have to take it out, otherwise you're going to get penalized at age 85. Add that into some Social Security. Next thing you know, you've got over $240,000 of taxable income in your retirement. You see, these required minimum distributions can become really impactful, because this is how people can get put into a higher taxable income and higher taxes in their retirement versus where they're at today. The other thing that these required minimum distributions might lead to, in like these cases and examples here, could lead to taxation of your Social Security. Up to 85% of your Social Security can be taxable depending on how much other taxable income that you have coming in. It can lead to IRMA, which is in basic terms, the surcharge on your Medicare Parts B and D. So, as you can see, required minimum distributions can have a huge impact. And the reason I say it's a surprise is a lot of people aren't necessarily seeing what it's going to do over their future. A lot of times the mind thinks that these required minimum distributions, well, it's just going to be this flat number in retirement. And let me just show you, it's actually not a flat number in your retirement. Take a look at this here. Now, I just used calculator.net just to easily show you today how required minimum distributions are not a flat number in your retirement. I went in here, I plugged in, I said, hey, what if we've got $3 million in our IRAs, 401ks, and we start taking required minimum distributions based on the dates of birth here. And what does that look like over time? And if you want to follow that RMD column, and again, we just put in here a hypothetical growth rate of 5%. Again, you can go in, you can plug in whatever your growth rate might be. Could be 0, could be more than 5, could be less than 5. Anyways, just to show you today, as you can see, and just follow down the screen there, age by age, year by year, that required minimum distribution value, if you're getting some growth in your account, is going to go up. And I think that's what surprises people the most, is when they get into their 80s and 90s, how much that required minimum distribution could potentially be. Good to know it's not a flat number. So when it comes to this, and folks have done a lot of tax planning and a lot of tax projections for clients, and I see a lot of times that their taxes will be higher in retirement than where they're at today. And a lot of it is due to these required minimum distributions. So if you're wondering if your taxes will be higher in retirement than where they're at today, well, here's what you need to compare. You need to compare what is your taxable income today, and then what is your taxable income going to be in retirement. But don't forget that you need to factor in those required minimum distributions. You got to factor in your Social Security. Maybe you've got rental income, pension income, your dividends, interest, gains, etc. Once you have all that factored in, then you can do that comparison. Where are you going to be at today versus where will you be at in the future? If your taxable incomes in the future is higher than where it's at today, well, guess what? Most likely your taxes are going to be higher in the future. If they're the same or similar, well, then you have to ask yourself, do you feel like taxes are going to be higher in the future or lower in the future than where they're at today? In any of those cases, if they're higher in the future just because of the RMDs, or if they're higher in the future because of tax rates, then you might want to consider some of the strategies that we're going to talk about here in a second to help lower that taxable income and lower your taxes in retirement. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this so far. Before we get into those strategies, if you are finding this to be of value and benefit, you want to see additional videos on retirement topics like Social Security, retirement income, and how to help minimize your taxes in retirement, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notified as we're coming out with new videos on those topics each and every week. All right, so maybe you've determined you're going to have a higher taxable income in the future than where you're at today. If so, let's talk about some strategies. If you're still working, well, some of the strategies that you could utilize is contributing to your Roth, backdoor Roth IRA, mega backdoor Roth IRA. You could contribute to the HSA. I'm going to link a video up above in regards to how to get more tax-free money for your retirement. Now, maybe you're already retired. If so, here's some things that you might want to consider. Roth conversions, qualified charitable distributions. Maybe you want to consider charitable giving. Maybe you want to take a look at your withdrawal strategy. I'm going to include another link above if you're already retired of things to think about to help reduce your future taxable income. And last, well, we've got a free guide to unlocking hidden tax savings opportunities. You can get it at lifemoneyshow.com/taxes. Our goal is to help you reduce your taxes to the IRS. Keep more of your hard-earned income, hard-earned retirement savings in your account versus paying it out in taxes. lifemoneyshow.com/taxes. It's going to give you some actionable advice and a checklist to utilize. Hey, again, hope you found this show to be of value and benefit. You enjoyed the conversation. If so, you want to see additional videos on topics like how to help reduce your taxes in retirement, how to help maximize what you can spend, just wondering when you can retire, subscribe to our channel because we're coming out with new videos each and every week on topics just like those.